Cheap Air Gunner channel, it's Cherokee Steve. Wanted to address something I brought up in the last video, which was the video of full-length air rifles versus bullpups. I happened to mention that I was in the stage of planning and saving for my next air gun. I don't have it, so as far as a reveal of that sort, I can't do it. Still in the process of saving. And I guess you could always say I'm still in the process of planning. It depends on whether or not I change my mind, but I think I'm pretty secure in my decision and sticking to it. But again, the first step in the process that I took in my research and kind of deciding what it is I wanted to go with, at least a direction as far as the next air gun, the first step was a full-length rifle versus a bullpup. That decision actually was pretty easy for me, especially since getting the Hatsan Flash Pup in .25 caliber, which is a gun I just completely fell in love with. For the price, for the power, for the accuracy that you get from something like that in this compact design, which really appeals to me. It was an easy choice for me to go with. I would rather have a bullpup than a full-length rifle. Now that didn't completely eliminate a full-length rifle. If there was something out there that fit, especially my budget, that was knockout gorgeous and reliable, something with a lot of reviews as far as great accuracy, significant power, that's something I would keep open-minded about, but definitely heavily leaning towards a bullpup. So that was step one. Step two was, what caliber do I want this in? And as I have done many videos on all of the air guns that I have owned, I've covered every single one. Going over the 22s that I have, which are all those Crosman carbines. From there, I have the Hatsan Flash Pup in .25 caliber. I have the Hatsan Carnivore in .357, and I've got the Hatsan Hercules Bully in .45 caliber. Now, the one thing that really did not hammer home how much I would care for bullpups ultimately, since the first bullpup I purchased was the Hatsan Bully in .45 caliber, was the weight. It was still a heavy gun for being a bullpup version of a full-length gun. It still seemed significantly heavy, but getting the Flash Pup, and with as light as it is, certainly understanding and appreciating the fact that weight savings can be incorporated into a bullpup design. That's what really clicked off how much I enjoyed the bullpups. Going to a larger caliber beyond .45 Bully that I have, really am not interested in pursuing a .50 caliber, or, as some of you are probably aware of, there is the AEA Zeus in .72 caliber that's out there. You know, there's a variety of different choices in 50 caliber. That's something I just, at this particular point, definitely is not a desire of mine. I have no need for something like that. I would have to justify, actually, the need for the 45 caliber bully that I have. Doing some hunting that justifies something in that large of a caliber is something I hopefully will eventually get to, but have not done. So going beyond that, I really didn't have any interest in. So, knowing that I have PCP air guns, and I would consider the KT-HPA in 22 caliber to be a PCP. I have a 22 caliber, a 25 caliber, a 357 caliber, and a 45 caliber PCP air gun. Fits all four of those calibers. So I decided I wanted a 177 caliber PCP air rifle. I've got a bunch of ammunition, bunch of pellets in 177. When I come down here to shoot, it definitely is not, for whatever reason, my first choice. To pull out my 1377 or my M4 177. I do it. It's just that I tend to go more to a larger caliber when I come down here and shoot. So I had the basic overall style as far as bullpup picked out, and now I had the caliber picked out. 177 is what I wanted to go with. Something still powerful enough to be able to do small game hunting with, but in a 177 caliber and a PCP. So I had it narrowed down to that, and did a lot of searching, a lot of looking, again, having to stay within a budget. My budget, I was trying to stay with $400 would be the absolute max I would spend on something. Really, if at all possible, keep it under that. One of the platforms that really jumped out at me as having not just variety, but a platform that had very different looking guns within the same platform, took me back to the Hatsan Flash. They have their own version of full-length rifle with synthetic stock or wood stock, and they're quite different looking between those two. And then they have a bullpup version in synthetic and wood. And absolutely love the look of my Flash Pup in 25 caliber with the synthetic stock. Not a huge fan, but not completely put off by the wood stock version of the Flash Pup. The Flash in wood appeals way more to me than the synthetic style. It's kind of got a skeleton stock to it, which really is something that doesn't appeal to me in the Flash synthetic stock version. The wood version, I think, is absolutely gorgeous. Its lines and the way that the stock is shaped, the walnut, the Turkish walnut that it is, just really appeal to me. But I really overall wanted to go with a bullpup, and given the two in Hatsan's Flash Pup line with a wood stock, I wanted to try something different since I had the 25 caliber Flash Pup with synthetic. that took me down to the Flash full-length rifle version with the Turkish walnut, or the Flash Pup with the Turkish walnut. Upon my research, there's also another gun that popped up that I really like. I'm going to go ahead and at this point, I'm going to throw up, I'm going to put up pictures of the various versions of the Flash platform, all four. And you can really get a good sense of how different they are from one another. The synthetic versus wood in both a standard length air rifle and a bullpup version of that rifle. Let's take a look at that. That other gun I mentioned that really just jumped out at me as being super attractive, a PCP available in 177 caliber, was the Kral NP03, Kral Puncher NP03. Got a very tactical look to it. Extendable shoulder stock, synthetic, but just visually really appealed to me. And I'm going to throw up a picture of that. So at this point, I kind of had it down to really two different guns, air guns in 177 caliber, that would probably be my next air gun. And that would be the Hatsan Flash Pup with the wood stock, or the Kral Puncher NP03 synthetic stock. I did make that decision. I'd rather have a bullpup than a full-length rifle. As gorgeous as the Flash full-length gun is, the fact that it is something I would want to use in small game hunting situations from time to time brought me back to the bullpups. And there were a couple of things that came up that really made me make my overall decision. And it had to do, the base price of both guns, at least from Pyramyd Air, was exactly the same between the Flash Pup with the wood stock or the Kral, which is also a Turkish manufacturer. They both are. But the Kral, if you look on Pyramyd's website, there are no discount coupons that can be used in the purchasing of that particular gun. And there is a discount code that I know of that I planned on using that would save me 10%. And it is applicable to the Hatsan Flash Pup. Now that knocks off $40 off the base price of the gun right there. There was something else that was pushing me towards the Hatsan Flash Pup with the wood stock. So between the two, the $40 extra I would be saving on the Hatsan Flash Pup was certainly significant to me. Really on a budget, $40 is something I certainly am not willing to just flush down a toilet. It's a good chunk of change as far as I'm concerned. And that certainly was a big benefit. I still kept finding myself looking at the Kral, just absolutely loving the design of that particular gun. It's a little less powerful than the Hatsan Flash Pup. The Hatsan Flash Pup is rated at 1,150 feet per second in .177 caliber. Their specifications indicate that it's capable of producing 28 foot-pounds of energy in a .177 caliber. That is phenomenal. The Kral is rated, I believe, at 1,000 feet per second. So it's 150 below the Hatsan Flash Pup. Now, that all depends on what pellet they used when they were testing for velocity. But I've had a very good experience, again, overall, with Hatsan. But the other thing I thought that would also lead me more towards the Hatsan Flash Pup was actually the fact that the wood stock is not the most appealing to me. And to elaborate on that, what I'm getting at is the finish of the stock, at least in all the pictures that I've seen, kind of makes it an unappealing stock in my mind. Now, I have seen a lot of pictures researching it online of people who I guess felt the same way. They went ahead and have stripped their stock and refinished it in different wood tones other than what Hatsan uses in their production of the Flash Pup. And I thought that would make a great series of videos. If I were to get the Flash Pup, I most likely, definitely, would strip it and refinish the stock. That would, I think, make for some really cool, interesting videos. So that's what I am leaning heavily, if not totally, at. The Hatsan Flash Pup in .177 with the wood stock. So that's my decision-making process that I used, and that's where it took me. That'll do it for this video. Shoot straight and stay safe. And until the next one, thanks for checking this one out. Really appreciate it, you guys. Take care.